One time I made Chuck Norris in the object editor in Scribblenauts. Not only that, I also scripted him to shoot out ice cream and cupcakes whenever he sees children. I kinda forgot all that was there on this level. Anyway, hello again, YouTube! This is Dr.Kendo. I'm here with Scribblenauts Unlimited, the object editor commentaries, of course. This week, we're finally resuming kind of our original plan of doing the most popular request. So this is actually data of the most popular requests that I've gathered from the last 2 weeks, not just one, which is what I usually do. So, after removing some of these cupcakes and ice cream cones with a bomb, that's real creative, right? We'll go ahead and open up the object editor and start out with the source object of a scuba diver. For today's object editor request, the most popular request was actually for Captain Olimar from Pikmin. So we're actually going to be creating Olimar here. The reason that I chose a scuba diver as the source object was because it kind of has these lines and stuff on the body shape that we're painting right now. You want to go with an off-white, almost yellow, almost greenish, nasty colored suit because that's the color of Olimar's dirty astronaut-looking suit. Yes, you could try astronaut, but it's actually a very square-looking body and it wouldn't fit. Olimar is sort of like a short, stubby, almost somewhat pudgy looking guy. So after we've put this oval on the head, that's actually going to be his glass head covering for his suit. Right here, you want to open up the general 29-page library, or 10 if you have it expanded like that, and get this little grandma arm. I believe that it belongs to the grandmother at least, and paint the sleeves the same kind of off-white color, almost ivory, nasty color, and then get the other side, the arm for the other side, and of course make his hands a dark reddish kind of color. We're going to take more shapes from the general 29-page library. It's these little arm or leg shapes, just generic shapes right there, and do shoes. You could also probably use Buzz, which is Maxwell's brother, and just take his legs, but to me, his legs are just a little bit longer. I feel like they're not kind of stubby legs, they're sort of long legs. So that's why I liked this a little bit better, but if you kind of like that image for your Olimar, you could also do that as well. We're taking the letter I, just type in I, and we're gonna make that his eyes. Go figure, huh? We're also using I, the letter, for little spots on his wrist. It's, just where there's a little bit of black space right there on his suit for his wrist. We've also taken a dot for his mouth and another oval for his nose. You want to paint the nose oval a little bit darker shade of skin tones so that you can distinguish it a little bit more. And, of course, I'm using a flower, as you might have just seen right now, and you paint the flower a little metallic-y color, some kind of gray. And I'm using a pearl, actually, for the top part. Basically, what we're making is the little antenna type thing that's on the top of Olimar's head within his suit. Now, the Pikmin characters, they have these elf-like ears, so you can actually take a human ear, and I'm turning it upside down. You can do it really either way, but basically just put something there for the ear. You could also probably use tear, T-E-A-R, and put that down for the ear and see what that looks like, if you like it or not. We're doing 3 dots also for some ornamentation that's on his suit, and hopefully you notice that I also just used hair for the actual hair right there, and then put it behind the head so that it looks like it's just kind of 3 points for his hair. So that's our Olimar. We'll make some minor adjustments later on, but for this part, I always love to read background information and fun facts on whatever characters we're creating, so let's go for it. Captain Olimar made his debut in the 2001 video game titled Pikmin. He was also subsequently in Pikmin 2, and while he appeared in Pikmin 3, and only playable a few times, his mostly unplayable semi-absence drew up a bit of controversy as fans seemed to really like Olimar, the protagonist. Believe it or not, he was actually named after Mario, as in Japanese, the name Mario is actually the backwards spelling of Olimar. Again, this is in Japanese, so I'm not talking about in English. Something that also surprised me was that early stages of development didn't even include Captain Olimar or any playable captains in the Pikmin game at all. It was originally planned to be a game where the players themselves would be shooting Pikmin out. I can hardly even imagine such a thing. As quick as I can, I'll basically just say that the plot of the first Pikmin game has Olimar crash landing on a distant planet after a meteor hits his cargo transport ship, and he discovers the native fauna or plants of this planet are actually the helpful Pikmin, whom he uses to find all the pieces of his ship. In Pikmin 2, Olimar and his co-worker named Louie are both set out to help the Hakotate freight, i.e. the freight that they both work for, to get out of debt. The boss finds that some of the stuff that Olimar had brought back from the Pikmin planet, in the first Pikmin game, is very valuable, and that's when he sends Olimar and Louie out on their quest to help get the Hakotatians out of debt. Then, lastly, in Pikmin 3, after falling into debt once again, Olimar and Louie were sent out for a similar mission as the previous. Being that the player this time, though, controls Alph, Brittany, and Charlie, they quickly find out that Olimar has taken an important piece of their ship, thinking that it was a treasure of some sort. So that's sort of a good, I guess, rundown of the plots of the 3 Pikmin games. Anyway, moving on, not only is our lovable captain in Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl, but he was also, of course, confirmed for the Smash Bros. Game on Wii U, and is in the 3DS version too, naturally, if that wasn't obvious. So when I created the Pikmin a while back, I created all of the colors of Pikmin. This was many months ago. I actually made them as aliens as the source object. So kind of what I'm doing here in the scripting for our Captain Olimar is just, catering to that sort of aspect, is, making him react to them basically and show emotions and things like that whenever he sees aliens. So I think that that's a pretty good rundown. You could also script your Olimar, of course, to eat fruit or things like that, things that kind of fit your liking and would kind of fit in with the Pikmin theme, maybe, of the Pikmin games. But I'll leave it at this. Usually I don't go too far into scripting or anything like that, but I'm just basically having him show emotions and play animations whenever he sees aliens. So unfortunately, this means that also if he sees an alien, he'll do it, not just for your Pikmin. If your Pikmin source objects are aliens, like I created them. So there's our Olimar. It looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put him down on the level right here, and we'll do the scripting test first. I am gonna drop out... What the heck just happened there? I dropped one of the red Pikmin onto the level, but then he just fell all the way down into an infinite abyss. And so it actually looks like the scripting is not going on. It's not working correctly. I'm gonna have to go kind of dive into this deeper. I will probably take that offline off of this video because I actually feel like this video is gonna be pretty long and extensive after I show you some other things that we have also created for this week. So let me just go ahead and do what I typically do, and that's make them get into fights. I should probably also script my Pikmin to protect humans, because that way they'll help fight whenever something comes and fights our beloved captains. So I do have the Olimar scripted to shoot out a miniature red alien though, so I just kind of did that sort of as an allusion, I guess, to him shooting out Pikmin. I just did red out of randomness, red Pikmin or something. But let's see what we've got here. I'll just throw out some more random enemies. So there, you can see that I actually already scripted our white Pikmin to protect our Captain Olimar, because you probably saw that he had the little shield icon above his head. But I think, I have a few more stamp spaces, so why not add a little bit of more detail to our Olimar? So going back into the object editor, I've added the letter I again at the bottom of his shoes for the little white pieces of his shoe. He actually has red on his shoe as well, but I don't think I would have enough stamp space for that, so I've also just added in a rectangle shape on his suit right there. I think that that's a good kind of round out of detail and everything like that, because after that we would run out of stamp space, so we can't really include much more. But I noticed that sometimes people were also asking for some of the other Pikmin captains who we've seen over the years, and I actually already created Alph once before all of this, as you saw him in Scribble Ventures in episode number 3. He was in a short skit that I did with the Pikmin. It was quite hilarious, so I hope that you've gone back and seen that. But of course, we've just kind of taken everything the same, except for the source object here is Aiden Sigawa. It's to give that kind of short and pudgy look to them. And we've also taken Mother Nature for the legs, so you can actually take the man or the woman version of Mother Nature. I know it's called Mother Nature and there's a male version of it, but hey, why not show it to you? We also have a whistle, of course, as you can see right there near Alph's mouth. So here's what Aiden Sigawa looks like. So if you take his body shape, that's the reason that it looks the way that it does. So of course you just color everything white except for that top part near the collar. The Pikmin 3 captains all kind of had their color, and Alph's was blue, as is evidenced right here by his hair and things like that. But hey, there's the Mother Nature, the man and the woman, so that you can see that's what their legs look like. So I do like this. He's also got, of course, freckles right there for the freckles on his face. You actually have to double up on each side, so that's like 4 pieces of freckles. And then we have a piece of a wisp for his hair, so I've actually taken a component of the wisp to show off his hair. So then if you just copy and paste that source object and use some different stamps, you can create Brittany. So with Brittany, other than copying Alph, I've also changed the head to Shayna Gitnick for the head, so right there. We also made her glasses out of hemisphere shapes, so you can actually take 4 hemispheres and you basically color them skin toned, and then color the bigger ones behind that to be the color of her glasses. And then you put 2 dots, of course, for each eye, but then you also want want to double up those dots and put some behind the hemisphere shapes, because her eyes go well beyond, her glasses. She's got some tall eyes, basically, you could say. Ovals didn't work. I did ovals at first, and they made it a little bit too big, so I don't want to go with ovals for that. Maybe it suits the look that you want, but I thought that this was good. And if you saw that arm that I just brought out right there, it's kind of like this knight arm. It's from a knight, but it's from the general 29-page library, so you can find that shape right there. And I used a headband for the bottom of her dress, basically. She has like a skirt or whatever for her suit. But then if you just copy those, the Aiden Sagawa body again, we can make Charlie right here. I forgot to mention that Alph's eyes were just eye, if you just type in eye. So then we've actually taken hemisphere shapes over the eyes to do for Charlie's eyes. He's actually got kind of these eyelids over his eyes right there. So that's actually the reason that he looks almost half asleep right now or something. So what I'm working on now is finding a good stamp maybe for his mustache. So I'm actually just kind of trying out various animals and things like that. What could we use for his mustache shape? I think that this would be good, actually, a Stegosaurus. So we just take the tail part of a Stegosaurus. I was trying to think, what has a tail that is kind of the right shape for that. So that's what we've done. So his head, I actually did use Mohawk, but I did about 3 different Mohawks and pieced them all together so that there was no gaps. He has like a buzz cut Mohawk, not the Mohawk that Scribblenauts Unlimited has. So that's the reason that I've taken several Mohawk shapes right there. And of course, you want to color your captains with the color according to what they are colored with in Pikmin 3. So Charlie's color is of course green, as you can see, and then Brittany's was pink, as I mentioned before. Alph's is blue. Charlie, kind of being the captain of the fleet of our beloved Pikmin 3 captains, he has a star on his suit, and he's also got a little like clock looking thing, but if you type in clock, you actually can't shrink it down large enough. I did try, and I just didn't like how it looked. It looked kind of too big, so I actually did speedometer, and I think that kind of works out if you just sort of turn it around and have it matching up against that piece that's around his neck right there, and then a small little red dot underneath that, just giving our Charlie some more detail. So that's awesome. That's where I'm gonna stop. I know you could make Louie or some of the other characters that are in the various Pikmin games, but I think this is a good stopping point. So just one last update before I leave. I just wanted to say that, of course, the month of September has passed us by, and that means that the September 11th project, for which animal we're gonna quote-unquote adopt within the World Wildlife Fund, has been picked. I'll go ahead and press up a video about it to do separately, but I will announce the winner on the next Scribblenauts Unlimited commentary as well. So we do have a winning animal that we're going to adopt. Again, this is quote-unquote adopt. It's not really actually adopting this animal, but that's their term for it, basically, as we donate to the World Wildlife Fund. So we're actually going to get some things back and kind of have a new channel mascot, and that will be the animal that we're putting my donation towards. If you're completely in the dark or new to my series, basically every September, I donate to a charity using my YouTube earnings for that month. I'll donate basically to various charities, whether they're related to September 11th type things or not. And this year we chose the World Wildlife Fund because I love animals and I really want to help the cause of any kind of animal conservation and things and animal efforts. So there was just some fun, I guess, stipulations around it that I, asked all of my subscribers to vote on which animal they wanted us to put our money donation into an adoption for. So cast your votes. The most popular request will be created next week. By popular request, I mean the one that has the most comments in this video, or thumbs up, votes, replies, anything like that. Video game characters, movie characters, or nerd and geek culture characters, excluding YouTubers. I won't make other YouTubers, and just do 1 or 2 requests at a time. And also, I just wanted to quickly add in a very happy birthday to a longtime viewer and subscriber whom I did a birthday rap for back on October 12th, 2012. Her username back then was xlizxboox, and then it was soulxdriven, and now I think it's just Liz, so whatever her username may end up being in the future, she knows I'm talking about her, and I just wanted to say another happy birthday for this year. And I made one of her favorite Pokemon in Scribblenauts for just such an occasion. Please see the text on the video all throughout this little segment here to learn what stamps I use to create this Psyduck. And thanks again to everyone. Be sure to tell Liz happy birthday. So thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I can't say it enough. So I will catch you on the next vid. And thanks for viewing. Getting down to the matter, let's look at it more. My words ain't meant to be about wage of war. They're meant to bring justice to all wrongdoers. They're like a spectacle so you can be the viewer. And